Our first piece of news comes out of Atlanta on Tuesday, the 16th of March, 2021. A Now we give them one time with the name, but the 21-year-old Robert Long out of Georgia decided to go on a killing spree. Went to several spas that were predominantly Asian owned, if you will, and he shot them up. 8 people died because of this. And it's kind of interesting because he shot up one spa and the police arrived as they should, but he went to a spa across the street. So while they were at this spa, the first spa, they received a call that, hey, you should go to this spa across the street. There's been they're reporting a robbery. But they were already there and across the street. I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Again, this is Georgia, metropolitan area Georgia, and he would go on this spree and target spas, again predominantly owned by Asian Americans, and he was eventually, well, his parents had noticed who he was, and they called the authorities and was like, hey, that's our son, this is his phone number, this is how you track his phone number. They tracked, well, not, I'm sure they didn't do that. I'm sure they figured out a way to track his phone. That's how they found him. They went on a high speed chase and he was arrested without incident. So of course, the first thing that we all were thinking, like, hey, shooting up spas, they're predominantly owned by Asian Americans. Okay, dude is targeting Asian Americans. He's targeting Asians. And we're thinking this might be some sort of, because we know that there's been a rise in the sense of racism ever since coronavirus came around, because of the whole narrative of the China virus and all the disrespectful things that were happening and whatnot throughout the week. And so people were saying that this was racially motivated. Okay, so there we go. There's our motive. This guy killed 8 people for sure. He did do that. So the next step is they actually got a chance to sit down with him and investigate him. And so we got this goober here, Captain Jim Baker, out of God knows where county, something country, I don't know, something stupid. Sorry, not the area, but just I'm sorry. This guy really pissed me off. Jay Baker is a captain, and he goes up there, and this is his demeanor for the most part. Well, we apprehended the suspect, and we were able to talk to him, and he was a guy. He was at the end of his rope, and it was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did. I'm not exaggerating the empathy in my voice. This is what he said. Yesterday was a really bad day for him, and he's just a guy at the end of his rope, and this is what he did. Not being facetious, I'm not over exaggerating anything. That's how he sounded, empathetic. But I felt like some kind of thing went off in his earpiece. Was like, hey, we need to don't, if you just leave it at that he was having a bad day and shot up a whole bunch of Asian spies, it's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be a good look. Blame it on something else. What else did you say? But he would go on after he says this whole spiel about, we just had a bad day. After he moves on from that, he decides to go, oh, well, what can make us look better? And look, let's take a stereotype that's really, ooh, I got it. He told us that he got sexual addiction issues and spas, Asian spas. Now, we know what they're all known for, huh? You feel me out there, Jimmy, don't you? They triggered his addictions. He was tired of being addicted to sex. And so he was set out on a mission to stop being addicted to sex. Because spas. You know what I mean. You know what they do with spas. So you used a stereotype in the Asian community about spas and masseuse parlors. Now, Atlanta's mayor, Miss Longbottom, she would go on to say, these spas that they brought up, they weren't on the radar for prostitution in our city. So we don't see that as blah 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 whatever. So that's the narrative that's being painted right now. But he said that not only was he shooting up these spas, but he was on his way to Florida to go shoot up some porn sites, some bigger porn sets or something like that. And he was going his way to Florida to hit up maybe some more spas, but he was going to attack a place that was big in the porn industry. Shout out to Reality Kings, man. Bless your hearts. Adriana Maya, bless your heart. Who else in Miami? Michelle Anderson. But did you hear the empathy in his voice? And the empathy, if you went and watched the interview and listened to this press conference, he sounded empathetic to him. He just had a really bad case of the Mondays. It happens. He had a really bad day. And this is what he did. He had a really bad day. Excuse me for a moment. I'll tell you who had a really bad day. I'll tell you who really had a bad day. I'll tell you who really had a really bad day. Let's take a look. Zhao Ji, Dao Yufang, Delana Young Gonzalez, Paul Michaels, 4 other people and some injured people. They had a really bad day. That's who had a really bad day. They may have been having a great day, but it was that one moment in time. One moment in time caused this. He was at the end of his rope and he just had a really bad day. I just told you who had a really bad day. 8 murder victims. Several others injured. And you're going to come to me with this empathy? He's just had a really bad. Get the hell out of here. It pissed me off with this narrative. Let me tell you something. Something that happened very close to home to me in Indianapolis. There was a man that shot 4 people. Apparently, it was over a stimulus check, and now he deserves some of it. But okay, cool, whatever. It is what it is. It's bad. I hate it for all families involved, for the family that's involved, the 4 people. A child was killed in this situation. A mother was killed in this situation. A mother of a mother, a brother. People were killed in this situation that were family. And it's all shaken up because it's one person. He had a really bad day. No, they didn't go up there and get this man empathy. Yes, the murderer is now in custody. And we got him. He's behind bars, and he will see out the gate. Stories out of Indianapolis. Go look it up, man. Kills a lot of people over a stimulus check. The murderer is in custody. He's in custody, and he's right where he needs to be, and he will see the full extent of the law. That's how you came about this black man. But when it came to this terrorist or whatever he is, sex addict, I don't care. He's a murderer at the end of the day. Families were just all the way distraught about this. People were hurt in this situation. It affected many people. It affected a whole community in America, Asian Americans. And you go up there and say he had a really bad day. He was at the end of his rope. And he just had a really bad day. And this is what he did. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see how they just depict these people in this way? There's a problem in America. There's a real problem in America, a huge problem. And you know, if you see a picture of this bozo, if you see the picture of this murderer, if you look at it, if you look at his mugshot, you're going to see what we say the de facto radical Trump supporter looks like. That right there. Carhartt jacket, 21, but he looks like he's 48. That's what I see. See, when people lose, the rest of the world, in a sense, kind of conforms, but there's always a fringe group. There's always a fringe group of people that just want to stick around. And you know what? We believed in something at some point, and we're going to stick around. I'm never conforming to the rest of them because we were right. You lost. You lost. We know what this country was founded on. We know what this country was founded on. Conquerors came through. They brought some people with them that they thought were less than them. They came up with a system for them, and then they came up with a system for the people they brought with them that were less than them. They came up with the system. We know what this country was built on. They came up with the government to govern all these different sets of people. They did all that in Europe. They got a whole caste system. Read about the caste system, okay? And that's how they governed each other. But what if, at this point you could be the lowest of the low when you're in this system. You could be the lowest of the low of a type of people, but you still feel like you're better than. Remember those other people that we brought with us that we already felt with? No matter how low you are, you feel a superiority over a group of people. And so that's what this country was built on, conquering other nations and conquering nations of people, if you will, conquering cultures, bringing people that you felt were less than, and you built a government based off of that. And you know what? I look the way I look because it was passed down to me. I'm 6'2", slim athletic build. I look some good. These are things that are passed down to me. But there's some things that are not genetic that are passed down, like bigotry, supremacy, things like that, where maybe some people in your line, in your bloodline, may have gotten to enjoy what it is to be the supreme race or be the supreme person in wherever they were at. But this is a different world. We're living in a world where Kanye West has $6.6 billion. Nobody that looks like him that wasn't in the game plan. It wasn't the game plan for somebody that looks like Kanye West to have $6.6 billion, to be one of the most rich people in America. Jay-Z, oh, forget about it. Beyonce, forget about it. They did not have those type of people in mind when they said, oh, this is the American, what, the American dream? I don't even know what to call it anymore. But they didn't have those people in mind. And this stuff gets passed down no matter who you are, and they will have a supremacy. And then you go out here and you attack groups of people. So yeah, black folk, we used to it. Okay, we used to it, and I'll say that. I just gotta say that for another show. But what I can say is this. Lord, help me through this now. Give me the words to say. We know what this country was built on. And we know that the way the rest of the world sees the people that built, quote unquote, built this country, started the government in this country. We know how the rest of the world views them. And you know what? This morning, when I was on Twitter, all I could see was a whole bunch of tweets of people saying, "We stand with Asian Americans. We stand with Asian Americans. We stand." Now, mind you, yeah, that's coming from the light-skinned community, but black folk, we was right there. We ready to lock arms with you. But you know what? Something was in a sense brought to my attention today. Now, hear me out. And it seems like, because I'm just going to say it, I feel like black people in America are the most looked down upon culture and race in the entire world. So Africans and African Americans, just black people in general, looked down upon totally. And I see it this way. I see that it's that way because, okay, our people were enslaved and whatnot and sold and all that, even sold each other. I admit to that part of history. I get that. But I feel like other cultures and races, they kind of feel better because, yeah, America beat us, but, we signed an agreement. So we got respect for each other. What about them black people over there? Can we get a couple of them too? Ha, 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 ha. Why? Mexico fought for. They fought. Mexico, American war. They blah blah blah. You read the history books, but Mexico, United States got into it. United States won. Shout out to the Alamo. That whole thing. That happened. America was like, all right, we'll chill. We just sign this piece of paper that we own this, and then we'll work everything else out on the back end. The rest of the world looks down on us. When Black Lives Matter happened, every culture made fun of us. We seen, some of our Hispanic friends. We seen some of them had to, they came together like to keep black people, no black people out in our neighborhood or not. Something happens to them. Like, let's talk about ICE. We care for them babies. But when stuff happens to us, nobody cares. And they say, you know what, black folk, keep on doing what you're doing. You know what? I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep on supporting anybody that's oppressed. I don't care, black, white, yellow. I don't give a damn. I'm going to continue to be that way. I'm sitting here thinking about it. We was talking about things being passed down. I have Asian friends as adults. I had Asian friends as when I was a kid. And we were like best friends, homies, everything. And come to my house at any moment. My grandparents will take you in. No problem. Nobody's going to be like, that little Asian boy came over here, that little Asian girl came over here. None of that. They take you in. Are you hungry? Anything like that. But I think about it. I go back. I think about my past. I don't think I've ever been into any of my Asian friends' house, ever. Their parents' house? No. Now that I think about it. Oh, play ball in school together, laugh and joke together, have classes together. I've never been in. I met their parents at like school events, maybe. Not even met them. Just like, hey, yo, that's my mom and dad over there. I've never been in. I've now that I think about it, I've never been. And the thing is, that stuff is being taught. And I think that comes, like I said, some of those cultures were able to sign a piece of paper and get America to agree with them, and we got respect for each other. We'll make a deal. But, black people, we were just enslaved and were made to do what we had to do. But look at us now. Here we are. We still fighting back and doing what we got to do, still being treated like we're less than. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make this all the minorities versus light-skinned folk. I'm not trying to do that. But I am saying that there does need to be more solidarity in the people that feel like they're minorities and not being. All oppressed people should feel like they should come together and stop the oppressors from oppressing and tell the oppressors to, hey, we're all humans. I still don't understand why people trip about where you from, what you look like. Why can't we just judge people off of the type of person they are? I know good black people. I know bad black people. I know good white people. I know bad white people. I know good Mexican people. I know bad Mexican people. There's bad in every group of people, but to generalize a group of people and that's how you do your thing, and shout out to the Asian community, because a lot of Asian Americans, they set up shop in black neighborhoods, and they are treated well for the most part. Obviously there's our bad apples that sometimes they might rob those stores or something like that, or come to, or talk disrespectfully. But for the most part, for the majority of the time, it's all love. It's all love. Some of the best fried chicken I done got from a corner store. Delicious. Old convenience store. Shout out to Zips. Got me together. Gizzards, all the things I like, and cooked them great. But they're ingratiating into our community, but it's kind of wild. Oh, shout out to the hair shop too. Shout out to the hair shop. what continues to blow my whole mind is the fact that the noses are still turned up at black people, but we are always the first to say, let's lock arms and let's unify and find out a way to stop this. Ever since the coronavirus came out, yes, I understand. Violence and hatred against Asian Americans has gone up. Yeah, and it's a certain group of people that don't like nobody else but people that look like them. They just needed a reason. And it was the coronavirus. But taking it back to this bozo, this clown, we don't know what the motive is. All I know is that he's a murderer. He murdered 8 people, and that's how he should be treated. I had a bad day today. A really bad day. A part of it was really bad. But I didn't go and affect families because of it. I didn't go and end the life of someone because of it. I went on about my business. Picked up my chin. Gave it a second to breathe, honestly. Dwelled on it probably longer than I needed to. Good 35 to 45 minutes. Had a really bad day. But there's people that have way worse days than us. And we got to be thankful for that. Prayers out to those families. Let's just keep everybody involved, lifted up in prayer. Everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget, every Thursday, the full podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99 ENT bring you videos from Friday all the way to Friday. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much.